so that I made something that I like and that I feel comfortable in, that I would like to sit down and drink tea at. Well, all my work really, it looks like landscapes and fossils and shells, patterns from erosion in stone and that kind of thing really, so it's just another example of that really. It's made from southern pine and plywood, which are two very cheap, well, comparatively cheap materials in wood, and ones that you wouldn't normally use to be thought of to be used for making furniture. But I like using materials that most people kind of overlook, because I think there's a lot of beauty in them often, and I hope I can try to bring that out really, use the qualities that are there of the very consistent patterns in the pine, because everyone is grown they're all grown in a 20-year period. They all have the same number of rings of growth in them, and all have a centre like a target. So you get this contrast of circles and squares together. So, well, visually, I think, that's why I do it. Visually, I like it a lot. I liked when I first started constructing these things out of the pine. I really like the junctions between the two different patterns coming together. But I wanted to accentuate it really, and so I tried it, putting the sheet of plywood in between, and I liked it. So I carried on, and but it has another benefit which I didn't foresee, is that it stops the wood from moving. There's so many different pieces of wood in there, and the plywood doesn't move, and that everything is glued on at least three or four sides to the plywood, and so it doesn't move, it doesn't split. Well, it is lower than a normal table, but it's lower than the kind of table that you'd want to sit and write at a desk or something. But I don't know, I sat in the chair, which is at a normal seat height, and just got a piece of board in front of me, and some cups and some tea, and just sort of tried it, just thought, well, what height do I want to be? And I just felt comfortable at that height. I didn't measure it particularly, I just felt it by doing that. And I thought, 75 centimetres is too much lifting everything up, so that's why. Well, I just thought it'd be useful to have somewhere to put the tea. The dry tea or something. You don't want packets of this and all the different tools and everything out on the table all the time. Sometimes you want it quite clear and simple, so you can put some of the things there, keep them there. Yeah. And the same at the ends of the table. That's why it's sort of got a slightly raised area at each end. Again, you can put things on there and keep the surface clear. I don't know why really. I don't know the answer to these questions, why I make things like I do. Apart from to say what I said earlier about the general inspiration of these sort. An egg, I suppose, is another natural shape. I just like the idea of, it's again all this, the circles and squares. So it's a circle made up of lots of squares. And it's really a ball, but then with another circle just cut out of it at the front, so that when you look at that from the front, there's another circle, and then you can sit down into that circle. Well, I think that depends on what you want to do in it, doesn't it? A chair to be comfortable in making tea would be different from a chair that you wanted to sit in for 5 hours and watch television or something. So that chair I tried to, again, it was just kind of, I started carving it and got to somewhere near where I thought it should be, then I sat down in it and felt where the bits were that were sticking in my back or up in my bum or whatever, and until I felt it was really comfortable. I could sit up straight and have complete contact with the surface through my whole of my back, hips, legs, and it kind of, there's no way you can't sit in that chair without sitting up straight. You have to. well, say finishing it was a joke, but I mean, kind of that it all. Well, I hope to me that it all worked. Really, I think they work well as objects, regardless of being functional. The 5 elements. I think they go well together, and there isn't really, in my opinion, there isn't really a bad angle. There isn't. Usually, you can find somewhere where you think afterwards you go, oh, that curve's not right, I should have changed that. But it's quite good, so from that point of view I was pleased. And although I've used this construction method for a long time, I'd never used it on that scale with these big 14 by 14 centimetre planks, which is a lot, to get flat and get decent joints with. And again, largely it's quite good. Obviously, I would like people to like it, but that's not my purpose in making it. I didn't think, oh, I need to make something that everybody's going to like. I tried to make something that I like, and those kind of shapes and materials and the juxtapositions of light and shade and squares and circles, straight lines and curves. That's the kind of thing that appeals to me, so that I made something that I like and that I feel comfortable in, that I would like to sit down and drink tea at.